thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll get started shortly, but make sure you get some notes out and be ready to go. And I hope you all can see me. So guys, I'm gonna shut down my video and show you my presentation. So let me know if you can see the presentation. Yeah, there we go. And hopefully I don't trip on that cord. All right, guys, so my name is Teri Ijeoma, and thank you guys so much for coming. This is just like been a faith journey for me. I started making $100 a day and trying to get consistent at that. Then I went to $300 a day so that I could quit my job. And then now I'm up to over $1,000 a day. So I'm really excited to share this with you all and just hopefully show you how investing can change your lives too. Yeah? So before we get started, and here I'm speaking to this, so hopefully if they need to hear me. So before we get started, let me take a quick poll of who's in the room. So we're gonna play the Have You Ever game. So everybody have these paddles in your hand. So if I ask a question like, have you ever ate food after you dropped it on the ground? You have to put, you put up a have on the blue side if you have, and welcome guys, welcome. Or you put up, I have never, if you have never, okay? And then you guys on the webinar, I want you to participate too. So y'all write into the chat box, participate. So, all right, so the first one is, have you ever invested in the stock market before? Nice, nice. So I actually have a pretty good mix. I have some I haves and I have nevers. Perfect. Hey. And then how about, have you ever wanted to quit your job before? Oh, we're all blue. Yes, I have. Everybody's like, yes, I have. How about, have you ever felt like you had everything you needed for your family? Good. I see one I have. A lot of I have nevers. I think I've never had everything I needed or wanted for myself or my family. I've always wanted more or wanted to be able to do more. And so if you guys have ever felt that way, you are in the right place today. So we'll go ahead and get started, but keep these close because throughout the presentation, I'll be asking have you ever questions, okay? So before we get started, I want to actually clarify some terms. I've been told before that I will talk and everybody's like, oh, it was so good, but I had no idea what you were talking about. So let me clarify some terms for you. So first, if you guys see here, and you guys are looking at the screen, the active versus passive. So when you're talking to an investor in the stock market, there's two different ways to invest. You can either be an active investor where you're getting in and out of stocks on a regular basis, or you can be a passive investor like investing in your 401k or investing for buy and hold for the long term. And you may put it in for, you may like invest in a stock, but then you don't touch it. If you're passive, I'm an active investor. So we're talking today, just know I'm coming from that perspective of being an active investor. The next thing, once you're an active investor, then there's a question of, well, how long do you hold a stock? And that's when we get into this swing versus day trading. So do you guys see that? And if y'all are following along on the webinar, it's this one, swing versus day trading. So day traders will hold the stock for a day, like you'll get in the morning, get out at the end of the day. And hello, I'm so glad to see your faces. I'm just so glad. Thank you for coming. And then a swing trader, though, will hold it for like 2 days to 2 weeks. Like they'll hold it for a little while. It's not that they're passive, but they just may hold on to the stock longer. I do both. So some people will kind of put me into a box of, oh, you're a day trader. No, I day trade and swing trade in order to make $1,000 a day. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, good. And then a couple other terms. So this value versus penny. This is talking about the type of stock that I would invest in. So this is like a value company is a company that is one that's really well known. It's established. Usually their stock is a little bit more expensive. That's a value stock. A penny stock is one that's not very well known. It's really risky, moves a lot, and they have a risk. There's a big Like it's a lot more risk in a penny stock, and usually they're less than $3. I'm a value investor. I invest in companies that are established and well known, and I'll tell you more about that later in the presentation. And then the last thing I want to identify is technical versus fundamental. So a technical trader is one that will look at charts in order to determine what price we want to get into a trade. A fundamental trader is one that will look at kind of like you're looking at the overall health of the company. So is this a company that I want to be invested in for the long term? What's the price to earning ratio? What's the forecast or projected earnings? Like that's what they're looking at when they're looking at fundamentals. I'm a technical trader. So I'm one that looks at charts in order to determine what price I want to get into a stock. Okay? So you're going to hear these terms again. That's why I wanted to talk about them first. And that way you'll know as I keep going what's going on. Now, I see some of your faces. You're like, Teri, I'm a beginner. What are you talking about? Don't worry. If you're a beginner, you're in the right place because you'll get to see kind of how to set up, how to get started. And then if you're an advanced trader, you're still in the right place because I think you'll get some nuggets out of this that'll help improve your trading. Okay? We on the same page? All right. So let's go. Wait, and I always have to check. We still on the same page? Okay, so good. I see you have not. Those who are in the webinar, I'm checking your answers right now. So make sure you're up to date. Hello, hi, David. Shalandra, you have not traded. Cool. Is the volume okay for you guys? Because I'm going to keep going fast, and I don't want you guys to say, we can't hear you. Those on the online, can you hear me okay? Yes. We're good. Perfect. Perfect. I had a class, guys, on Thursday, and the presentation went out. So I'm just extra hyper, making sure that they're good. All right. So let's go. So I told you guys this presentation is how I make $1,000 a day. And then here are some of the things that you might be wondering. So you're probably wondering, is it really possible to make money in the stock market? Or you might be wondering, how quickly can I see returns? Or how much does it take to get started? And maybe if you're an investor already, you might be wondering, what am I doing wrong? Or even, am I wasting my time? And the truth is no. If you've been thinking any of those things, then you're in the right place, okay, guys? And this is why this session is important for you. And aren't my pictures pretty? We worked really hard on these slides. So this is important for you right now. If maybe, and we talked about this, right? A lot of us have wanted to quit our job. So maybe you're in a job that you don't really particularly enjoy to the most. And so you need some extra income to supplement the income you're getting from your job. Or maybe you've tried investing before and it didn't work. So now you're looking for a better strategy so that you can actually start building wealth up. How many people are in that boat? Can I see hands? Anybody? Good, good, great. And then maybe you're actually trying to save up for something. So I have one friend who I think is on the call today. She's saving up to remodel her kitchen. So we're going to help her invest her money so that the income she gets from it, she can use to remodel her kitchen. So maybe that's you. Or maybe you have some money in your savings account and you know it's earning like 0.0% right now. And there's a better way. So you're like, let me try to get some better returns on this money. So now let's imagine. So imagine if you could make $1,000 a day without having to clock into a job and without having a whole bunch of money. Just imagine. Or imagine if you were consistently making money in your trading account and then able to move it over on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis and pay yourself. Or imagine if you were in control of your own schedule. This is the one that was big for me. I just wanted to be able to go on vacation without having to ask permission. I didn't want to have to ask my boss. So maybe just imagine if you were in control of your own schedule. One of my coworkers is here. She's like, I know the story. Yes, I know. So here's what happened to me. So I went from 2016 making negative returns on my investments and about $4,000 a month as an assistant principal of an elementary school to now in 2018 making an average of $1,000 a day and being able to travel whenever I want to for like a month at a time. And let me tell you how I did that. So a little deeper into this. So I went to MIT for undergrad, and I would say that I knew of investing, but I didn't know how to invest for myself. So a couple of people are like that. Because in school, the business track is you either go into consulting or you go into investment banking. And I even did an internship in investment banking at Morgan Stanley, but they never teach you how to personally invest for yourself. So I would say I knew of investing, but I didn't know how to do it. And it wasn't until the housing market crashed that I actually started investing for myself. Because what happened is this is 2010, it's about 2 years after the crash. So I'm like, okay, this is my time. I'm gonna get a house right now. But then the realtor kept talking about the stock market. And he kept talking about how he was making all this money in stocks. So in my mind, I was like, wait, so am I going to put $35,000 down as a down payment on this house? Or maybe I should invest it in the stock market and get some returns that way. And so that's what I did. And has anybody thinking about investing in real estate property or have thought about it? So see, that's a thought that many of us may consider. Like, what kind of returns can you get on investing in the market versus investing in houses? And so I opened up an E-Trade account. This is my little picture of E-Trade. And I only knew E-Trade because that's what the realtor did. So I just did what he did. And I will tell you the truth, from 2010 to probably 2016, I was investing and having a lot of fun, but making no money. And if anybody else has been in that situation, like, I really enjoyed it. I knew that I could do well at it, but I was losing. And this is actually my vision board from 2014. So you guys see that? The whole top part is all about being an investor. I wanted to be an anointed investor. And so like the whole top part is investing in real estate and stocks. Yo, I'm doing it. I love it, but I'm not making money, right? But this is my vision. And then at the bottom, I was in ministry at the time. So it was all about investing into people. So that's why I was an anointed investor. And praise God, look at this. 4 years later, I'm actually living out that vision. Isn't that crazy? Oh, thank you, Jesus. But at this time when I wrote it, I was losing money. So it wasn't until 2016 where I had a real turning point. And I had a friend who passed away, and he was my age, like a really close friend. He was 30, I was 32 at the time, and he was 32. And he had passed away from just having strep throat. Yeah, he went to the hospital. They gave him the wrong medicine. He had an allergic reaction and passed away. And my world was upside down. Like, if something that small, some accident like that could take your life away, then, what was I living for? Like, what was the purpose of my life? Was I living my life to the fullest? So I wrote in my journal, I was like, okay, Lord, if I could do anything in the world, what would it be? And it was trade stocks and travel the world. And so for the next year, I got serious. So while I was still an assistant principal, I started studying the stock market. And for anybody out here who's like, I work a full-time job, I want to know how to do it, you can do it. Start learning now while you're still working. Get good at it so that you can eventually quit your job. Because this was me. So for a whole year, I went into school and I studied trading while I was working. And it actually worked. So at the end of that school year, and after, it cost me like $30,000 to go to school. But I did it because I wanted to learn that bad. I know your eyes are like, what? Yes, those classes are expensive. But I did it. And so at the end of the school year, I was able to quit my job and start traveling full time. So this is me in Australia. Yeah. And I just tell you my story because I know you can do it too. And I know from all of your blue signs that you want to quit your job, this is something that could change your life. So let me show you how. So the purpose of this class is 3 things. So we're going to first talk about why is it important to invest in the stock market and how can that actually build your wealth? Because that's something that a lot of people struggle with. When you first say, oh, I invest in the stock market, their first initial thought is like, oh, you're going to lose all your money. So I need to help change that mindset a bit. Then we'll talk about 4 secrets that I use to actually make $1,000 a day. And then the final thing is I'll tell you how to come alongside of me if you want to actually get some help in starting this for yourself. Okay? All right. So one of the big reasons that a lot of people are interested in the class is because I did a 5-day challenge. How many people here know about my 5-day challenge? Anybody? Okay, only two. Okay, good. Okay, so I can tell you about it. So I did this challenge on Instagram where I was going to make it. Hey, welcome. Hi. Michelle. I did this challenge where I was trying to make $1,000 a day. And it was really kind of scary for me because I was having to like open up to the world on how well I was doing, or if I could do it in the first place. And like, what if I lost? Like, as soon as you say you're going to do something, that's when it goes wrong, right? So I did this 5-day challenge, and here's the results. So the first day I made $3,700. The next day, $1,500. The next day, $3,800. And then on that Thursday, $1,100. And then Friday, $4,400. And I ended the week making $14,634 in that 1 week challenge. Anybody here feel like that could change your life? That kind of money could change your life? And these dates, just so you know, this picture, we were trying to make it easy for you to see. So this actually happened 3 weeks ago. This wasn't the first, or these dates on the calendar don't match. This was like the 16th or something like that of last month. And then that next month I kept going, but I didn't tell anybody. So the next month was a conference, and I knew that I wouldn't have a lot of time to trade. You guys see? Okay. I knew that I wouldn't have a lot of time to trade when at the conference we were like super busy. It was in Orlando. We had sessions the whole time, and I couldn't trade anyway if I wanted because the Wi-Fi was bad. So I did the same strategy that I used for the 5 days. So the 5-day was more like day trading. Remember those terms I told you in the beginning? So the 5-day challenge, I did day trading. On that next week, I did swing trading. So I changed it so that I could hold things for a week. And that way, if I didn't have time to check during the day, it was okay. And then this is the results. So that Monday, I made $1,010. The next day, I made $1,400. The next day, I didn't trade. And I want you guys to know, even if you have an average to make a daily goal, if you don't see the opportunity, don't trade, okay? Because you'll just make a mistake on that day. So it's okay not to trade. And then that next day, I actually took a loss. I was in Tesla, and it's a long story, but I was in Tesla, and I decided to take a small loss because if I kept it, I could maybe have a bigger loss later. So I strategically was like, you know what? I'm going to get out of this soon and early because I know I can't watch it all day. So let me take a small loss now. And I'm glad I did. It actually ended up going positive later on, but still, I'm glad that I took the small loss because a lot of times those small ones turn into big ones later, right? And then the next day, I told you I was swing trading. A lot of my trades materialized, and I made $5,400 on that Friday. So the total for the week was $6,275. And that was actually, like you're going to see later, that was with me only trading 5 hours that week. Yeah. So 5 hours to make $6,000. And then the next week, this was actually last week, I took some vacation days because I was in Orlando. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take a day off. Then I worked 3 days so you guys can see my averages. And then that last day, I took another day off because this Thursday was the day of my last session last week. So Friday, I said, you know what? I'm tired. I'm taking off. Because that was my purpose, right? The reason that I had started trading was because I didn't want to have to work all the time and because I wanted control of my schedule. So now I can actually do that and still only work 3 days a week and make $3,000, right? So I know that there's some people in here. Well, first of all, would anybody feel like these type of numbers could change your life? Yeah. And it changed mine too. Have you ever, yes, you can use this one. Have you ever wanted to make these kind of numbers? Yes. And the truth is, I do too. Like, I made this, but I still consider myself like, man, that's really good. Because, like, I just remember back when I was an assistant principal, I was making $4,000 for a month, and I was always on the clock. I never got to be off. I had my computer all the time. I was stressed out. So any kind of reward, even if I was making $200 or $300 a day, would be better than having to not have control of my schedule. And I know that there's some people here, you've seen these numbers and you've already started to withdraw. And you've decided that, oh man, that's too much. I can't do that. So let me bring you back. Come back. So I will give you the right to withdraw if these things are you. If you are closed off to new ideas, if you are never follow through on your commitments, if you are afraid of risk, and a little fear is fine, but I mean like you just won't take any risk, or if you only want to learn the fundamentals, then you can pull away. But my assumption is that most of you guys actually fall into this section here, which is how many like to take initiative? Good, good. You can have your paddles up. How many like to learn new things? I have. What about, have you ever taken pride in your work? Good. Or what about, do you like things to be easier and more efficient? Good. And then the last one, can you follow instructions? Yes, perfect. Everybody can do it then. Everybody can do it. Perfect. So you are in the right place. So don't discount yourself. You are in the right place. Let me show you how to do this because you can do it, guys. You can really, really do it. All right. So we've already talked about terms, but these are the 4 things that I follow. So, and I'm going to turn my back a little bit just to point them out. So the first thing is picking companies. Like this is my process. First, you have to be able to pick good companies. And once you pick good companies, then you have to be able to go to this next step and protect your portfolio. Because what happens is, and I see a lot of new traders do this, you make some small gains over here, but you have these big losses that are just draining out of your bucket. It's like pouring water into a bucket with holes in it. So you have these big losses, and every time you pour a little bit in, it's not staying. So we've got to show you how to have a risk management plan so that you can protect yourself, and then as you pour the water in, your account will grow. That makes sense? And then this next step is about pricing the trade. So in my course and with my students, the next thing we're going to be working on is how do you price that trade correctly? Because if you get into a trade too high, it's hard to make money. So we have to know how to price correctly. And then we go into pushing forward, and there's some strategies there that I want to tell you about. Okay? All right. So you guys still with me? All right, y'all ready to hear the 4 secrets? Okay. All right. And wait, y'all know I got to check on you. Let me check on the webinar, folks. Y'all still with me? If it freezes, click reconnect button and clear your cache. Yes. Okay, good. So guys, if it freezes, make sure that you've closed down all of your applications because that will help it to go a little smoother. And we'll keep moving forward. All right, now get ready. We're going through 4 secrets and we're going to go pretty quickly, okay? All right, so the first one is under picking good companies. So before I tell you the secret, I have to actually talk towards your fear. And I know that there's a lot of people who have a fear that they need a lot of money to invest. So have anybody, and can y'all hear me if I don't talk with this? Okay. And you know what? I'll put this close just in case. Okay. Okay, it's fine. All right, so have you ever felt like you needed more money to invest? Yeah, I have. Me too. Yeah, me too. But I think what happens is when people have that fear, they start investing in penny stocks. And that's a myth that, oh, you have to invest in penny stocks. If you don't have a lot, go invest in things that don't cost that much. But y'all, that is so far from the truth. The truth is that I want you all to invest in value companies that are best in breed. Okay? So you're going to invest in the good companies. And when you think about best in breed, you're investing in the company that is the best in that sector. So if I tell you airlines, I want you to look up the 3 top airline companies, and then we're actually going to we're going to test it out and see which one of those is the best in breed. Okay? So this is how to do that. So I want you guys to actually download an app called CNBC. How many people have the CNBC app on their phone already? Okay, good. A couple of you do. Perfect. So first, download that CNBC app, and then I want you to create a watch list. And the watch list will have all your companies in it. But then this is how you find best in breed. Every time you're interested in investing in a company, I want you to put in your watch list that company and 2 of their competitors. So I told you, for example, if I want to invest in airlines and I'm investing in Southwest Airlines, then I'm going to put Southwest, and I'm also going to put American Airlines and Delta in my watch list. And then for a little while, I'm going to watch all 3 of those and watch how they trade. And at the end of the time that I'm watching them, I'll pick out which one is a better stock to trade. Because sometimes you'll have a good company, but it's not a good stock to trade. And when you're looking at, there's lots of things I can teach you on what to look for, but one of them is you want to see what the price movement is. So when you're looking at good companies to trade for income, you want something that moves at least $1 a day, or at least close to it. Of the airline stocks, I can tell you Southwest is the one that would usually move closer to that than American or Delta. So if I'm trading for income, I would pick Southwest because it would meet my needs better. Okay? And disclaimer real quick, I am not a stock broker. So these are not suggestions and these are not advice. This is just me telling you what I do, my story, okay? Okay. And then the secret behind that, because I know there's a lot of people, and I feel like maybe they can't hear me. Let me put this closer. Thank you. The secret, though, behind that is, I know the next question is, well, Terry, I would love to invest in value companies, but I can't afford it. Like that Google one you showed me, that's $1,000 a stock. I can't afford that. So here's the secret. When you go to open up your brokerage account, ask them for a margin brokerage account. Okay? And what this means is like you may have to be particular about which bank you go to, but ask for a margin brokerage account. Because what I thought when I first started is, in order for me to trade with $100,000, I had to save up $100,000. And that's what most people think. But with a margin account, you actually only have to save up $25,000, and then the bank will let you trade with $100,000. The bank will let you trade with 2 to 4 times the amount of cash that you have in that account. You guys hearing me? So it's almost like a loan, like the same way that your house, you'll give a down payment and then the bank gives you the rest for the house. That's the same thing with a margin account. You put in $25,000 or less, I'm just using that as an example, and then they'll let you trade with $100,000 and they'll loan it to you for about 24 to 48 hours to trade with. Yeah, isn't that crazy? See, this is the kind of stuff that nobody tells you about when you're learning how to invest. So we're thinking that we got to keep saving when somebody else has an uncle who told him that all he needs is a little bit to get started, right? This is how you do it. So when you go to open up your trading account, which is called a brokerage account, open a margin account. And I'm going to push forward a little bit. Some of this is in the details. But check for understanding. So does this make sense? If you have a margin account, then that will help you afford to invest in value companies, which is better than investing in penny stocks. That makes sense? So that's secret number 1. Cool, we got it. I see heads nodding, so let's go to secret number 2. So the secret number 2 is under protecting your portfolio. So this one is how we're going to make sure that you're managing your risk. So first of all, as a fear, and I hear this all the time, is, oh my God, I'm so afraid the stock market is just too risky. And then people will tell me, oh, but you're gambling. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But that's what the myth is, that investing in the stock market is a gamble. That's the myth. And the truth is, it's actually a calculated risk if you do it right. So if you guys know Steph Curry, he is a, well, you guys know Steph Curry, but he's about a 90% free throw shooter. So if you were to take a free throw, taking a free throw is a risk, But if you get Steph Curry, you have a 90% chance of making a free throw, right? So that's the same way that you can calculate in stocks. Like we can take trades that are higher percentage trades. And the way you do that is by planning ahead, and you're going to plan your entry, your exit, and then I'm going to show you a secret of one other thing that you're going to plan, okay? So this is where a lot of beginning traders go wrong. The only thing that they plan is their entry, and then they might think about where they're getting out, but most of the time, the only thing they thought about was their entry. So what do I mean by entry? So a person may say, oh, I want to invest in Apple. So whatever price Apple is right then, they just go and get it and say, you know what? When it goes up, then that's fine. That's where, I just want it to go up and then I'll get out after I've made some money, right? That's like the novice way to go. But I won't say real investor, but a professional investor, when you're trying to make sure that you manage your risk, so you're going to plan both your entry, so your price that you're getting in, you plan the exit. So you're thinking about, okay, at this price is where I'm getting out of this trade. And then you also plan your loss at the bottom, and we call that a stop. If it goes against me, where will I get out of this stop? And that's what we call our risk. And you can actually plan that ahead of time. And do you guys realize how if you can plan, okay, I'm only taking $3 worth of risk or $1 worth of risk, how it's no longer a gamble anymore? Because you planned it. And there is a way to actually set that. So that stop loss, this is the secret number 2. So this is a picture of me in Puerto Rico. And I was zip lining. Has anybody zip lined before? Yay. Okay, good. So y'all know you're going like 100 miles an hour down this hill, and then you have this thing at the end that stops you. And it's this thing right here. It's this buoy looking thing that stops you. And here's another picture of me stopping for real. But that buoy that stops you, like as you're going 100 miles, that buoy that stops you is just like a stop loss in trading. You can set an order to get you out as you're coming down. Okay? But the thing is, a lot of traders, and I won't even put you guys on blast with the advanced traders, a lot of traders know that they can do that, but they don't do it. And if you're an advanced trader, I want you to think, how many times have you lost money because you didn't put in your stop loss? So the secret to being able to actually have better returns, and Raymond, I always use this example. He sent me this text message. But the secret to have better returns is making sure that you're able to put in your stops. And then it's a more calculated risk. It's no longer a gamble because you dictated how much risk you're taking in this trade. And so this is one of my students, and I won't put him on blast. This is one of my students, and I was so happy to get this email. I loved it. But he was showing me how after I taught him how to place his stops, he actually was able to increase his account. And it makes that much difference from losing and having water just pouring out the bottom of your bucket to having those stops in. So do you guys see now how if you put in that stop loss and set your risk, how it will actually help you calculate higher probability trades, and then that will be less risk than a normal gamble. That makes sense? Do you guys see how to do that? All right. So that was secret number 2. And now we're going on to secret number 3. And I hope you guys are getting some information from this. Are you guys learning some things? Okay, good. Thank you. All right, so the next thing is under pricing the trade. So this is the third part of my system. And I do these things like literally every time I trade, I go through these same steps. So the next one, a lot of people have fear that it's going to take me a lot of time to trade. And the biggest thing they think is there's a myth that says you have to do hours and hours of research before you go into each stock. Has anybody ever heard that? Have you guys heard that you have to do a lot of research? I have. Perfect. So that's the difference between a fundamental and a technical trader. Remember I was telling you guys about that in the beginning? So if you learn how to read charts, that can take away a lot of the time that you needed to do that research. Okay? So if you're looking here, I love to trade AutoZone. It's one of my favorite stocks to trade. And if you look at this chart here, I can actually look at this chart and within 30 seconds tell you where I would get in and out of the trade. And I haven't looked at any research. I haven't looked at any fundamentals. But looking at the chart, I can tell you where I would get in and out. And this is one, I'll tell you more about it later, but one that I actually do get in and out of a lot. But the secret on this, and this is where advanced traders, I think you might want to note this as a nugget, I limit my watch list to 20 to 30 companies. I have a lot of my advanced traders who will tell me they're watching like 100 stocks. But you can't make money when you're trying to look at 100 stocks. So limit your watch list to about 20 to 30 companies, get really familiar with their charts, and then you'll be able to make money on them consistently. And that sounds like a small secret, but it was something that I had to learn. You have to be able to narrow your focus, and then that will actually help you make more money. Okay? And it's different and contrary than what you hear a lot. A lot of people will say, oh, I need to diversify, or, oh, let me put a little bit here, a little bit here. No, I'd rather you put a little bit more into one or two positions than to spread it too thin. And I even have one student now that he's making $1,000 a day just based on one stock. So we got him really good at learning how to trade. I'll tell it to you guys, but it's not advice, just a story. But we're working on him trading Sprint. So if he gets really good at trading that one stock, he can trade that every day and make his goals. But everybody thinks that you have to do all these different stocks, or, oh, if I sold this one today, I can't do it again tomorrow. There are no rules about not trading a company again the next day. Okay? But mentally, I think we do that to ourselves, like, oh, I sold it, so I can't get back in. No, yes, you can. You can get right back in if you wanted to. Okay? All right. So that's secret number 3. So an example of this, I wanted to show you how this affects my own trading. So remember when I told you guys I made $6,000 at FinCon that one week? And I'll zoom into this so you can see it a little bit better. But this is actually the hours that went into that. So I got this announcement that Sunday after FinCon of the fact that my screen time was down. So I was like, oh, okay, my screen time is down. But check this out. So if you look down, I trade on my phone. And I trade using TradeStation, which is this one down here. And it says that for that whole week, I had only been on TradeStation 4 hours and 59 minutes. So that means I had made that whole $6,200 with just 5 hours worth of work. Right? And I just told you how I do it. I look at their charts, I narrow my focus. And then let me just show you one more time how that played out in terms of time. So Monday, I had made $1,010. I only traded 48 minutes that day. The next day, I had made $1,400, an hour and 27 minutes. And then that Friday, this was the day that I had made $5,400. It was an hour and 30 minutes. So do you guys see how being able to narrow your focus, and we'll just do the check for understanding, if you have a smaller number of positions, and then you learn how to read their charts, how that actually will lower the amount of time that you need? No, and actually I'm in and out of it. So I may look at it for a couple minutes and then go do something else. And then I may come back and maybe look at it for maybe 20 minutes and go do something else. So I'm in and out of it throughout the day. Great question. Someone asked, am I looking at it for a whole hour and a half? But usually I look at it, see where things are, or at least in this type of strategy, look at it, see where things are, and then I can go do something else. Great question. Thank you. And you guys, as you have questions, I'm going to have a whole time at the end for questions. So please write them down, keep them, because we'll do a whole question time. So that was secret number 3. Now we're on to secret number 4. Last secret. And we're going to have a whole time at the end for questions too. So feel free to ask. All right. So we talk about the fear first. So the fear in this last one is that you can't time the market. And there's a lot of people who would tell me, I'm just going to have to buy and hold. So the myth is buy and hold because you can't time the market. And I'm sure have y'all just head nod or do your paddle, if y'all heard that too, that you should buy and hold. I have. Good. But see, this is why that's not good. Because the truth is, success is not in a straight line. So these stocks go up and down, and you can actually make money as they go up and down each time. So you don't have to just buy and hold. You can make money often. It's just like this escalator. I did that so that I could kind of show, like, you can get up and down an escalator. It goes, I thought I was clever. Sorry. But so if your strategy is consistent income, so just imagine, so if you started with a goal of like $200 a day, so that actually that actually leads you to $1,000 a week. That's $4,000 a month, and that's $48,000 a year just off of $200 a day. So I don't have to do a buy and hold strategy hoping to, put some money in here and let it run. I can just actively trade, get my $200, and then go on about my day and still be able to change out my income. Does that make sense? And then there's a secret behind this that I wanted to show you. So one secret is actually in the house. And I think you guys get this principle, but I just want to mention it again because as you all are going and telling other people about trading, I think this would be a good analogy. So you know how investing in houses, you have the buy and hold person who's like, I'm going to buy it and then I'm going to let it sit for 5 years and appreciate. And then you have the person that's a flipper. They get in and then they renovate and then they let it go. That's the difference in investing between a buy and hold investor and somebody who actively trades. Both of them are good. You can make money both ways. It's just a preference. And it's how quickly you need the money. I flip stocks, I day trade them because I want quicker returns. And then this secret that we were talking about. So this is a chart. So remember I was telling you guys about technical versus fundamental. I look at charts. This is a chart of Facebook, and this is a yearly chart. So if you were to get into Facebook last year, October, the price of it would have been $175. That's where it was last year. Now the price of it is lower, $162. That's where it closed last week. So if you invested a buy and hold strategy on Facebook, you'd actually be down right now. Even though you thought, if I invested in buy and hold, it's going to go up. That's not always true. And especially now with our economy and the way that it's kind of volatile, you don't know. There's no guarantee that you're going to be able to have the growth over time. Versus an active trader, which you guys will be, you can go in, you can ride it up to 200, sell. When it comes back down to 160, get in, ride it back up to 220, sell. Like you guys could have made money often versus that buy and hold person who's sitting with a loss right now. So does that make sense? So, and I'll show you one more example and then we'll do the check. But I told you guys about Amazon, so check this out. I was in it at 800 up here, and then it fell to 500. So I got out at 800, fell to 500, I got back in, rode it back up, sold it. Now it's come down, I can get back in it. So that's how you can make income as they go throughout the year. You don't have to sit on it. And then the same thing with AMD. So I love AMD. Oh, and let me tell you about this. Come on in. Oh, she come in. I love AMD. It's a semiconductor stock. And the semiconductors have gone really well this year. So AMD earlier this year was at $10. Y'all can see I had like a bit of a profit on it at $10, but now it's up to 30s, or it was a couple weeks ago, it was like at $34. But even though I was making profit in the 10s, I've told my students about AMD, and look at them, they were making profits in the 30s. So one student is like, I asked them, how did it go today with AMD? And one was like, great, my return was 50% up. Another one, I did good. I had put in my stop loss at 32. Another one, I did good. I got out a little early at 31, but I'm happy to secure some profits. So even though it's up in the 30s now, they're still making money because they're in and out of the trade versus just a buy and hold. Does that make sense? Perfect. So do you guys see how trading in and out of a position can actually help you make consistent income? And then that can sometimes be better than buying and holding. Good. I see yeses. Perfect. Perfect. Yay. Okay, good. So you guys saw the checks. So now I want to ask you, did you learn something? So did you learn? And now do you feel like you can go do this yourself? No? No? Okay, well, okay, wait. First. Okay, so that's a lot of no's. Okay, so first, let's talk about what we discussed real quick. And then this sounds like, do y'all want to learn how I could help you do this? If I helped you, could you do it? Okay, good. Okay, good. I was like, at least try. All right. So, did you guys learn today the 4 secrets? So these are the ones that we covered. That you should open up a margin account, not just a regular brokerage account, but a margin account. You should use stop losses. That you should read charts and then narrow down your watch list. And then you should trade in and out of stocks, and then that would help you to make that daily income. So these are the things that I do to make $1,000 a day. Yep. And of course, there's so much more that I could tell you. Like, I actually had so much in this presentation. It was so much longer, and I gave it out to my friends, and they were like, "No, please stop. You gotta like read." They were like, "You're giving too much information. You're giving too much." So this is actually only some of what I could share. But this really is what I do. So now, if you were able to set up your own account, which I hope you guys do, go trade. So these are the things that you would do: picking good companies, setting up stop losses, reading charts. And then, like we said, if you started with a small goal, it could actually lead you to having $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month, $48,000 a year. So now, are y'all ready? So what if I told you I could help you? Somebody's like, yes, tell me how you can help me. Okay, so and I just asked you this, but let me just ask again so I can see the paddles. How many of you guys would like to hear how I can help you? Oh, perfect. Okay, good. Wonderful. Thank you. All right, so what I talked to you about today is what I think you should do. Like, these are the whats. Like, you should do a stop loss. You should do something. You should read charts. But what I can help you with is the how. So how do you do that and do it correctly? Okay? Because I know, like, I told y'all, I wasted 6 years trying to figure out the how by myself. And I thought I was smart, and I was trying to make my own algorithms, but I was losing money. So let me show you how. So I came up with this system, and I showed you guys the four parts of it, and we'll talk about it some more. But I can teach you that so that you can actually start making money with your own, make income out of your own money. And the trade and travel programs, that's what I called it, because that's what I was doing, is for 3 things. So if you're a beginner, it's for you, because it'll help you get started, open up your account, and actually learn the basics. And then for a current trader, it will help you because it'll help you get more strategic and stop losing money. Okay? And then the last thing is, if you're an advanced trader, it'll help you to start making more consistent income. Because a lot of times as advanced traders, we know some strategies that work, but it's not consistent. So I'll help you be more consistent. And all this without losing your mind or your money. And it comes with 3 parts. So there's the course, and the course is an online course. Then it comes with coaching and a community. So let me show you. No, don't die on me. I think it's in that bag, yes. Can you look to see if the cord is in there? Just a computer cord, black. So the course is an online course, and like, this is me. I was doing a coaching call from LA. So I was actually in a hotel room on that. I don't look very cute in this picture, so I don't know why I picked it. But but you'll get coaching calls, and this is what I look. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then you also get each class. So it's 4 different classes. You'll see it here. It's like, this is the intro to stock market class, and then it has like different lessons and modules under each class, and it has the slides. That's fine. Hopefully I'll go fast to make sure it doesn't time out. And then the next thing with protecting portfolio, these are the courses. So these are the classes. We just covered these 4 blocks, right? So under each one of those is a whole class of information. So the first one with picking companies, that's part of the intro to stock market class. So there's a fuller class with that in it. Then with protecting your portfolio, we have a whole risk management class. And then how to read charts. With pricing your trade, I have a whole class around how to read charts. And that actually is coming up soon for my current students because they haven't gotten to that one yet. And then the last one is pushing forward. That's advanced strategies like short selling and gap trading and some of those things that will help make you more consistent. And if you look here, this is kind of a list of all of like what's included in all those courses. And I talked about some of them, but what we didn't talk about is like short selling. That's a secret of how to make money when the stocks go down, or gap trading or external hours trading, right? So those are some of the more advanced things that we'll cover. For the beginners though, we do start with opening your account and picking the companies. There's also a community. So right now I've had all my students on a text message list, but you guys are the intro class for the fall cohort. So for you guys, this is my first beta time doing a full class and taking the whole class through at the same time. So for you all, we'll start a Facebook group and actually have all the students able to talk to each other with a Facebook group. And the current students will be able to be part of that too. And then coaching. So you'll get 3 group coaching calls also. So don't think that, oh my God, I'm gonna do this stuff online and I'll never get to talk to Teri. No, I'll be there. So as soon as you look at your courses online, then you can jump on the group call and then be able to talk to me, okay? And I'll help as much as I can with coaching. And so as we said, who was this course created for? It's created for anybody who has money saved up and then you want to be able to make that work for you, or even if you don't have money saved up, but you just want to get good at this so when you do have some money come in, you can make it work for you, right? It's also for people who have traded before and just want a better method. We talked through some of these things. Or you're thinking about investing in real estate. And so now you're like, you know what, maybe I can do something different with that money. Or maybe you're retiring soon and you want to make sure that you have some extra income coming in. So any of those things, I'm just giving you some ideas so you can kind of think through, oh yeah, that might be me, I might need this. And then comparisons. So if you were to get this kind of knowledge at an MBA school, it would cost you $80,000. If you were to go to a trade school, which this whole row and myself went to, it costs you like $30,000 to $40,000 to get some of this information. And then for my class, don't get scared, it's $15,000 in value, but I'm offering it for just $1,000. And I'm doing that because I want everybody to be able to trade. And I know if you need help, that like you want like no barriers to entry. And then hashtag team no excuses, I offered some more things too. So for you guys that were worried about not having enough money, there's actually a financial advisor. I set up a meeting with a financial advisor so you can meet with them for free. And then that way they can help you figure out where potentially some money could come from for you to invest. And that's free and included. I also set up for those who are like, it's too much risk. I worked with a company called Wall Street Survivor, and they're helping us with a free platform. So I just talked to them. Right now, it cost me $500 to get a simulator. I had to open an account and fund it with $500 in order to simulate my trades with fake money. But this one, you all will get for free, and you'll be able to do simulate with fake money until you get good. Okay? So that'll help you to learn, but not have to have all that cash. And then the next thing, people always talk about no time. So I try to take that excuse away too. I will give you all my watch list. So we were talking about taking time to pick out good companies. Well, these are ones that I trade and that I know I can be successful on and that you can be successful on. So I'll give you my watch list for free as well. And then Stockpile, they came alongside of me in the class, and they were like, Teri, I love what you're doing. I love that you're trying to teach like millennials and minorities and just women and everybody how to trade. So we want to help you by giving out free stock. So you actually get to walk away with stock as well. So that's good for those who sign up as a student. And so all these things you're getting, and you're going to get all of them. This is $16,000 worth of value for just $1,000. Yeah. And in addition, I also threw in one more thing because some people are afraid of the online part. And they're like, you know what, I really want to do this, but I don't know about online. I'm better in person. So if you do sign up today, you'll get a free live session with me. And in that session, we'll be able to talk through your goals and how to make sure that this is tailored to help you meet your daily, monthly, or weekly goals. Okay? And so now, with all of that included and a live session with me, it's $16,795 worth of value that you're going to get for just $1,000. And we already talked about the fact that with $200 a day, you can make $48,000. So this is like nothing compared to the value that you'll get by learning these skills. And there is a 30-day guarantee. I know some people are like, I want to try it, but I'm not sure. I would say try it. Go ahead and pay. Sign up while this sale is on because it's not going to last forever. I'm so serious. It will not last forever. So sign up. And then if you haven't gotten any value, like you've tried the courses, you've taken the classes, you've tried to invest and it doesn't work, then come talk to me and we can do a 30-day guarantee, money back. Okay? And so what to do now? So for everybody, the coupon is located at investorsavvy.com. So that's the website, .org, y'all. Don't type in .com, it won't work. So it's investorsavvy.org for the discount. And when you go there, this is what my course looks like, the Trade and Travel course. And you scroll down to the bottom, under one-time payment, that's where the discount will be. If you want to do payments, like a payment plan, that's an option, but it doesn't have the discount. So it's better to do the one-time payment so you can get that discount in. And I know for myself personally, like when I first signed up for my trading classes, I told you they were $30,000. I couldn't afford that, but I was so passionate about it, I actually bought it on a credit card and then paid myself back with trading. I'm not telling you all that's how you should do it, but there are ways to come up with $1,000, and I think that would be better than doing the payment plan because the payment plan doesn't have the discount. All right, so fast action. Go ahead and buy those things if you get them tonight, and I'll right after this session, I'll go in and make sure that all the links are working so you can get that coupon. Buy it tonight, though, so that you can get the live session with me as well. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and joining me in the session. I hope that you learned some things and you had a good time. Please do, I'm setting up that coupon right now, so please do go in tonight if you're interested so you can get that live session with me, and it's investorsavvy.org. That's how you get it. You're welcome. Thank you. Oh, one other thing real quick. If you're an advanced trader, I've gotten this question a lot, like, Terry, how do I make sure to just have time with you? Like, I've been an advanced trader, I know the basics, but now I just want like some one-on-one help. We do have an advanced program. I'll give you my business card and you can call me about the advanced program. And that's more one-on-one help. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. And thank you guys for joining the call. Natasha, I see that we have a lot of people still on. If y'all have any more questions on the phone, on the online, just let me know. But we are finished now, and I'm going to set up that coupon so you can go into investorsavvy.org and buy the program. All right, I'll talk to you later.